It's going to give you a check ride at the worst possible moment. Talk to the pilots on United 803 out of Dulles just a month ago. All right, they were headed to Japan. They were fully loaded, as heavy as they get, and right after V1, one of their engines failed. That's the worst possible moment to get an engine failure, and it was a masterclass on how to handle that properly. 3 qualified pilots in the seat, all well trained, all ready to go, all ready for that instance to happen when the airplane gave them a check ride. Today, all right, on December 18th, that citation gave the pilots a check ride, but they weren't ready for it. All right, so we'll talk about that. All right, let me start to read to you from the report. Down at the bottom of the first page, it says the airplane departed on runway 10. We know that already in visual flight rules. They were looking to pick up their IFR flight plan. It says that they tried 3 times, attempted to do that. And then here's the fatal words that I want to point out to you the most. It's at the bottom of page 1. It starts with this. It says, during the takeoff roll, the rear passenger, now who's the rear passenger? It's Greg Biffle himself. So Greg is sitting behind, and I don't want to say he's backseat driving, but he's making comments to the pilots in the front about what's going on. That brings in another dynamic to this. There's a third pilot now that's making comments, and it's semi-distracting the pilot in the seat, who should have a second in command next to him, from flying the airplane, because he's now got his concentration half on the guy behind who's making comments. He points out something important here in just a second. The other part of this is the person behind him is a very well-known celebrity. And folks, don't dismiss that. That's really important. I think that has a lot to do with why they decided to press on that day, and they were going to make this thing happen, and they became mission hackers, and they allowed the incremental creeps to kind of rule the day. And as they're going to fly this guy down to Florida, and they're going to listen to him. And so he's making comments. What's the rest of the comment? He says to them that the left engine was producing more power than the right engine, and indicating there may have been a faulty gauge. So basically what Biffle says from the back seat is, he says, hey, the left engine is producing more power than the right engine. It's probably just a faulty gauge. He says something like that. The pilot in the left seat probably agrees with him, but then here's the 5 fatal words that doomed the flight that day. It says here in the report,